everyone, happy Wednesday, and this is the day that I talk about my pregnancy or mom things or something related to that. So as you can see by the title of today's vlog, I'm going to talk about my due date today. I'm sorry if the camera's moving a little bit. I actually have the camera on the couch and my legs are touching the couch, so it's kind of moving. I'll try to keep it steady. I don't know. Sorry about that. I don't have a lot of time to film this because I feel like Emmeline is about to wake up, and if she does I have to go get her, so we will see how it goes. But today I do want to talk about my due date, or not my no due date, I guess. No, that I don't have a due date, the fact that I don't have one. So quick update though, everything is going really well so far with the pregnancy. I'm feeling the baby move a little bit more, which is kind of exciting for me. With Emmeline, she didn't move very much at all. And now the baby, it is moving. I feel him move multiple times a day. So it's really exciting for me because Emmeline, she kicked a little bit, but she didn't really move, so I had to be really serious about doing kick counts with her and making sure everything was okay. She sat in one position the whole time, flipped head down, and then she sat in that position. Towards the end it was pretty easy though, because she was moving her hands a lot, and but that's all she did really. So this baby's actually like moving and doing circles and stuff, so that's exciting for me. Anyway, that's not what I'm going to talk about today. This is not a pregnancy update vlog. I'm about 20 to 21 a week, 20 and a half, 21 weeks, somewhere between there, pregnant. This is a planned pregnancy, as I had talked about in my last vlog. So I know when my period was, I do know when, I'm pretty sure when ovulation was. It's maybe 1 or 2 days that it could have been. I had written that down. And then I'm pretty sure I felt implantation cramping as well. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just go from the first day of my last period, and then I'll plug in my ovulation date, and that's what I'll use for the due date. So that's what I was using for a while. But still, every calculator I used was a little bit different. It was like June 16th, June 17th, June 18th, June 19th, June 20th. So somewhere between there and June 21st. So somewhere between there was one of the days. And so I said to Alvin, well, I'm not really sure which one it is because of how it's calculated. I mean, I could literally count myself 40 days from when I thought implantation was. But I thought, oh, well, okay, we'll just wait and see. So at my 12-week ultrasound, she said, well, based off of the ultrasound, the baby's due date is probably around June 16th. And that was at my 12-week ultrasound. I said, okay, I'll go with June 16th because I thought that was maybe closer to, based off implantation, closer to the date that would have been my due date. Then I went to my 20-week ultrasound. I say 20 weeks, you're not exactly 20 weeks when you get it. So I went to that ultrasound, and then the ultrasound technician is like, oh, well, based off of the ultrasound, your due date is the 21st. So that was a huge difference to be going from the 16th to the 21st. In Norway, they're really dead set on using the ultrasound date for your 20-week scan as your due date, because in Norway you don't get a 12-week scan and you don't get a dating scan. In England you get a 12-week scan and you get a 20-week scan. Well, in Norway you get one scan unless there's an issue, and it's 20 weeks and they use that. But I was talking to a couple of people, like, you know, and talking to my midwife, and they're like, well, when you think about it, the earlier the scan is, that's why they do dating scans in some countries like the US, because basically the heartbeat will show up around a certain time, and the baby will, when it's very small in the very beginning, the baby, they all kind of develop at the same rate. So they say, or the midwife said, that the date from the earliest scan is probably the most accurate, because as you get further along, babies grow differently. I thought to myself, if I were to take Emmeline's 20-week scan size, the due date would be way, way, way far off, because she was really little. She weighed 5 pounds 11 ounces, almost full term, and she had no problems. And I did go for routine scans because I thought something might be wrong. But every time they're like, no, everything looks great, everything's fine, there's nothing wrong, she's just genetically small. That's happened, like my mom's side of the family really has genetically small babies. So it's just something that can happen, just genetically small babies. And I sat down, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ignore the scan results in a way, and I'm gonna do as they do in England. So in England you get a due date, and it's based off of the first day of your last period and how long your menstrual cycle normally was. And they take in all that information, and then they give you a due date, which is really only used if you go over. If you go 2 weeks over and you need to be induced. Other than that, they give you a due period in England, which I like because babies are born anytime, usually full term from 37 weeks all the way to, what is it, 42 weeks. That's your window from 37 weeks to 42 weeks, and the babies are considered full term and they wait. They don't induce you in England before that time unless there's a medical issue. They wait till 42 weeks. So they give you a due period. So with Emmeline, my due date was either the 10th or the 12th. It was different. The hospital gave me one date and the midwife gave me another, and she's like, oh, it's because of February. The month of February changes things because the hospital will do it based off every month having 31 days. But she goes, I do it with February because February only has 28 days. So that was Emmeline's due date, the 10th or the 12th. I think it was closer to the 12th, personally, because I know when I had implantation with Emmeline. I remember it and I wrote it down. So for me, it was the 12th. Emmeline was born the 7th. Yeah, but my midwife was like, no, you're the 10th. And was born 7th. So she was basically 39 weeks, 39 and a half weeks. So I'm doing on my blog my bump updates every Saturday because I just thought, well, it's easier for me to do it on a Saturday, and then that's kind of close to one of the dates, I think. So every Saturday I'm just gonna do a bump update. But I will not say, like, I couldn't say to you right now, I'm 20 weeks and 2 days. I couldn't say that because I don't know. And I personally think a due period is better unless you're gonna go, you need a due date for if you're going over term. I mean, I can see why they do it then. If you get to 42 weeks and you still haven't had your baby, then they're like, well, you should probably induce you, that sort of thing. But other than that, I don't know. I just don't really see the point in having like a due date. I don't mean I don't see the point in having a due date, but I mean, this is the exact date. Me, I don't. It's not important to me. Maybe important to some people, but it's not important to me. Any time between the 16th of June and the 21st of June is what the ultrasounds say. But you never know, because the baby could arrive around 37 weeks, could arrive around 42 weeks. And I basically think that, I thought I'm gonna go with the first date of my last period, whatever that is. So I think that's the 19th of June. I said with that, I thought, we'll just go with that for us. Just, you know, if I have to, and, you know, I'm gonna go over and that sort of thing with this baby, then I'm just going to tell the hospital, let's do it off the first date last period. And I think they'll be okay with that because they know that a later ultrasound, babies grow differently and it's not always correct. It's not. So that's what we're going to use. But I'm not going to say on that day, every I don't know which day it is, I'm 20 weeks from, I'm not going to say that. So that's why I say I have no real due date. Everything's a little bit different. Maybe you have ovulation a little bit later than somebody else. Maybe your baby implants a little bit later or a little bit earlier. Maybe your baby grows slower, or maybe you go to the ultrasound and the next day your baby has a growth spurt. So that's that. But sometime in June, the end of June, I would say from middle of June, if the baby's gonna be full term for me, I would say it's gonna be somewhere from the 16th of June to the 21st. We'll go with that. And then if the baby's early, he'll be born before that. And if the baby's late, he'll be born after that. So if the baby's really late, he could be born in the beginning of July. And if the baby's really early, he could be born in the beginning of June. So we will see what happens. Hopefully everything continues to go well. And that's that. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today about due date. You can tell me what you think if you're pregnant and you have a due date, if you think it's right, if you don't think it's right, and what you think of having a due date. Do you prefer to have a date, or do you prefer to have a more flexible date, like a due period like they give you in England, or at least that my midwives gave me when I was in England? Let me know. I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys have a really good day. I think I have to go get Emmeline now, and I will see you on Friday for another vlog, and then keep an eye out for Saturdays for my weekly bump update, which is on my blog. So it's not on my vlog, it's on my blog, and you can find the link for that in the description of the video. So thanks so much. I will see you guys later, and have a good Wednesday. Bye.